Oh, YouTube. This is going to be not as good of a video as some because I'm just done using Alex Jones's fucking shit, and I just didn't bother to really look up some specific topics going on. Damn, the video already sucks. Sorry about that. But I didn't bother to look up like the very wide range of topics or what's going on in the news. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. So, yeah. I didn't bother to look up a wide variety of topics or what's going on or really see what's going on in the news. I didn't really bother to look up what's going on in the news. So this is going to be about a wide range of topics, and let's get to this already. Tucker Carlson, and this is not going to be shitting on him, in part because I don't even know what he's saying. I haven't been watching his show in a long time. Like I said, I have given up on culture, and at this point, that includes even mainstream news. And I'm watching less of even alternative news. I don't give a fuck anymore. But so the point is, I'm not shitting on him, and I don't know what he said since more recently, so I might not be thinking that because the Democrats are making more sense, and when it's just like when the Democrats weren't making sense, the Republicans stopped. I mean, when the Democrats weren't making sense, the Republicans started making sense. So now that the Democrats are making sense, you can expect the Republicans to become increasingly stupid. That's how this works. Because the smarter the Democrats are, the stupider the Republicans are, and vice versa. Because for some reason, there is a rule in this country: only one political party can make sense at a time. I don't know why, but anyways, except for Trump, and that's why I like Trump, because he does just say whatever the fuck he thinks. He doesn't give a shit. I mean, I kind of like that. But the point is, about Tucker Carlson, he said recently, and I like Tucker, honestly. I think I agree with him more than I do Alex Jones, actually. I used to like Alex Jones. I did used to watch the guy, and he was entertaining. He's a showman. I'll say that if nothing else. But he is not a nice person, and I don't know how it came to where he is now. And I've said this before, but he started out covering real topics like 9/11 and the Iraq War, and somehow he ended up accusing frogs of being gay and making fun of cancer victims. I don't understand it, but he did. Anyways, moving forward, Tucker Carlson said more recently, finally to the topic, I apologize, but Tucker Carlson said more recently that the Democrats are unelectable. And I don't know if I've seen this before. I'm not sure if this is a new segment or it's a bit of an old one at this point. But I just saw the thumbnail, and I thought I'd comment on it. The thumbnail for the video, I didn't even see the video because I don't watch Fox News. After they promoted Circumcision on that show, I just gave up on them completely. It wasn't on his show. It was something in the daytime show, and it wasn't really Fox News. There was some doctors they had on there. They selected them because they promoted it. Like, this is propaganda. This is how the shit started. And they're trying to go back to that now. They want the taxpayers to cover it. And we don't get a say, even though I'm against this shit and it's bullshit. But the point is, he was saying the Democrats are unelectable. And here's the thing. They're more electable now than they have been in years. And they're certainly more electable now than they were under when Hillary ran. Because and they were saying that back then, remember, when it was a more centrist presidential candidate and Hillary was kind of a centrist. They were saying back then, well, she can't win because she's not talking about real issues and she's a corporate politician. And it's hard to disagree with them there because I don't like Hillary either, and I think they're right. They're probably right about her. But here, this goes to show you they'll say that anyways, because now they're saying that about Bernie Sanders, who got screwed out of a damn primary, by the way. And we might have him as president now if he hadn't been screwed by Hillary. But he got screwed out of the primaries, and you have people like Tulsi Gabbard and Pete Buttigieg and Andrew Yang running, and any one of them I think can win. And if you think that Bernie Sanders can win, then you really don't understand the American population. And part of the reason why Trump won, because part of the reason why Trump won was because he did speak to working class concerns. Now, he's wrong about many things and much of what he said. And one thing I still don't like about what he said was this immigration thing. But then again, he hasn't built a wall yet, and he probably won't. So maybe I'm wrong about that. I think he just says that. I don't think he's planning on building one, and I hope he doesn't. But he did speak to concerns of the working class people, poor people in this country, white, black, and Hispanic, and just anybody living here. He spoke to our concerns, and he tried to fucking reach us. Hillary Clinton did not do that, and she didn't do much of anything to try to reach out to the working class and poor people, and that's one of the reasons, and one of the ways the Democrats used to win. Bernie Sanders totally does that, and I think he totally understands working class issues, and especially inner city and black issues. But I also think he understands the working class white population. I think he understands Hispanic people. He cares about immigrants. He cares about poor people, and that's what we want. And it's about cash, money, income, Benjamins, dollar bill, murder, murder, dollar. That's what it's about. All the ladies get a little hotter. That's what it's about. I'm sorry for trying to rap. I know that sucked, but that's what it's about. I really like that song, by the way. I gotta look it up. Anyways, I think that was Ja Rule. Wasn't that Ja Rule? That was cool. I liked that when I was a kid. I remember I was like 7 and used to listen to that all the time. Anyways, the point is, it's all about money, and really it's about the working class versus the rich. It's about the proletariat, what the Communist Manifesto calls the proletariat mass. That's me, you, and the poor, the homeless, the guy working at the construction site, the female prostitute, the men working at construction, the soldier, the unknown dead soldiers that died, the injured soldier, the guys, many of them are soldiers begging for change on the side of the road. Young people still trying to struggle to pay off debt for college educations that they can't afford, and many of them came from middle class backgrounds, and now they're poor because they try to get an education like you told them to, and then when they try to get that, you make them fucking pay out of their ass for something they didn't really need anyways. The proletariat working mass. It's about us versus them, the rich. It's not about black and white, and I think Sanders understands that. And then you have damn it. And then you have Tulsi Gabbard, who is anti-war. And I'm going to say this, and this is going to be very offensive, and I'm sorry if I offend women. She was a veteran, but if you know anything about the military, and I'm sorry to say this, but what females do in the military is not what men do. But that's not even the point. She at least was in the military. And that's a hell of a lot more than most of the presidents can say. That's more than what Trump can say. It's a hell of a lot more than what W can say, who was a draft dodger. George W. Bush was a draft dodger, by the way. It's more than what fucking Obama could say. It's more than what Bill Clinton could say. It's more than what Hillary could say. At least she was in the military. Now, again, she wasn't in the direct line of fire or in as much danger of dying as some men are, but she was in the military. So she knows a little bit more about that. And she has a very anti-war policy. And she could very well win just based on her anti-war policies alone. And she would be the first female president that most people would vote for, including men. I don't think anyone would vote against her because she's female. They wouldn't. Then you've got people like Andrew Yang, who came out against male genital mutilation circumcision. He came out against the mass meat production industry, the slaughterhouse industry that kills thousands, hundreds of thousands, probably millions of animals every year for this fat population of idiots to eat. And people like me, I'm a total pig. I eat meat. I shouldn't do that. I've admitted to being a hypocrite about that. But I do eat meat. I shouldn't. And, it's disgusting. If you have to kill animals and we shouldn't, then we should start, at least if we're going to kill them, then we should give it to people that really need something to eat. Like if you look at the starving children in Africa, if you look at homeless people on the side of the road, why don't we give that to those people? Why are we giving that to the fat people over here that eat too damn much anyways? But he came out against that and the totally destructive effects that have on the environment and the environmental effects that has. Pete Buttigieg could be the first gay president. I think he's a good guy. I like Pete Buttigieg from what I know about him. I think he could be a good president. I would like to see a gay president. I have a strong sense of sympathy and connection to the gay community. I like gays and LGBTQ people. I said myself, I'm pretty much bisexual. I like them. I like that. But I think that could be cool. And there's lots of policies he has, like Yang and Tulsi and Sanders, that I all support and I would like to see win. I would support. So the point is, and I went way too long into talking about that, but of course, Tucker Carlson, even though he's right about some stuff, of course he's going to come out as being against the Democrats and say they're unelectable. But he was going to do that anyways, and we all know that, no matter who they ran. If Jesus came back and he ran as a Democrat, and by the way, he probably would, then they would have a problem with that, Like if Jesus did come back, by the way, if there was a Jesus and he came back, you know damn well he's probably running as a liberal Democrat because he was obviously a liberal. There's no questioning that. And then again, of course, he's based in part on sun myths, and you don't really know what he believed in real life or what he was. Some people say he was a Nazarene because he was a Nazareth. And there's other people that say he was an Essene. He was part of the Essene Jewish group, that the Essenes that believed in they had a gospel of peace. They were pacifist. Then you have people that said he was actually a Buddhist and he went to Tibet or somewhere to learn Buddhism. Then you have people that say that he was, you know, any combination of things. I even heard he was the son of Cleopatra and I think Anthony or whatever of Rome, some shit like that. So I don't know. Like he might have been a rural person that went to Palestine as a teacher. I don't know. But nobody knows what the hell a guy was. No one has a clue as to what he believed or if he even existed. No one knows. But if there was a Yahshua, we have no clue what he actually believed. But based on what you know in the Bible and from what we have read, it seems to me pretty damn obvious. If you came back to Earth, he would run as a Democrat. Simple as that. Zombie Jesus would be a zombie Democrat. As simple as that. That's simple. And let's get to this point. I don't have much to say about this, but I think I did say this. In fact, I know I did yesterday. But I know that No Nut November is in part against porn. They're anti-porn. And, of course, also trying to make fun of cancer patients, but that's not the point. But you do realize, like, if you had a kid and he hit puberty at some point and he spent a long time in the bathroom, he was probably jacking off way before you had internet or porn. And even now, if they're in the bathroom before they go to school, they're not probably not. They have iPhones, maybe they are, but they're probably not on the internet. They're just jacking off. So you don't need pornography to watch to jack off. So if you're really trying to combat pornography, there's no reason to tell people whether or not they can jack off. Just say don't watch porn. And again, even that's none of your damn business. But that would be better than telling someone not to jack off at all, especially to make fun of fucking No Shave November and people that have nut cancer. But if you want to tell people not to jack off or to porn, then just say don't watch porn. It's that easy, you idiots. And again, it's none of your damn business whether or not someone's jacking off to porn or not. But that also brings me back to don't shave in November if you can. And again, like I said, I don't really understand it either, and I don't really think it brings much attention to cancer or to male testicular or prostate cancer. But if you can, don't shave. Even though I don't really particularly see the porn. If you don't want to shave, don't shave. I would not, and I don't shave much anyway anymore. I've just kind of given up on giving a fuck. Honestly, that's why I don't. But if I was going to, I won't now. Damn. But if I was going to, I wouldn't now, just because I do support prostate cancer and testicular cancer victims, and I support any movement to bring awareness to them. And I'm sure if these idiots really can go, and I'm sure some of them really do believe this, and they really can go a month without jerking off, then you can go a month without shaving. I mean, let's be honest. But beyond that, there's also some people who's taken on a new uphill, because at first it was to make fun of cancer. Now it's conservatives telling people not to jack off. And there's even people now that they want to have a masturbation marathon in December after going all of November without jacking off. That's starting up there. You now have people doing that. So by Christmas, they're going to be jacking off 25 times, because whatever the date is, that's about how many times they jack off. So if it's the 21st or the 20th, well, then they jack off 20 times a day. So you've got people going all month without jacking off, just to jack off 25 times in one day. What the hell is wrong with you? And who the hell would want to do that? But again, whatever. Like if I was fucking a supermodel, like I'm just going to be straight up with you and tell you the truth. If I was fucking a supermodel, I wouldn't even want to have sex with a woman, even a supermodel, 25 times in one day. And they're doing that on Christmas also, because you know that's what Jesus would want. What the fuck? So that's it. So that's even another even weirder element to that, and that's something I didn't talk about yesterday. So, but if you can, don't shave. I also want to talk about the entertainment industry. You know, I said I didn't watch. I need to rush through this to get to the end before it hits 20 minutes. But you know, the entertainment industry in general sucks. It's not just Tucker Carlson, because I said I haven't been watching the news. But if you look at music, it's not socially relevant. It's auto-tune created, PC, recycled bullshit. The lyrical content is not socially relevant. It's recycled, and it's machine music. It's not real, and I don't like it. I know Corey Taylor from Slipknot actually said that. And the movies, you know, like I like old Universal horror movies from like the 30s and 40s, and even old German silent movies like Nosferatu, Metropolis, Gollum, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. You know, I watch a lot of those movies. All of those are better artistically speaking movies than the shit they put out now. So I'm watching movies from like prior, nothing like I love movies like from the old, really the silent films in the 20s and the Weimar Republic, and then the movies put out between 31 and the first Dracula, Todd Brownie's Dracula with Bela Lugosi, all the way up until The Creature from the Black Lagoon in the 50s, whenever that came out. That's the movies I watch. And TV, I watch like Seinfeld, and I watch a lot of like old WWF from like the late 90s, the Attitude Era, because it was totally different from anything on TV even back then. And I don't really, like, I don't play video games either. Like, if I play a video game, it's probably Pac-Man on like Pac-Man World on the internet. I don't even watch, like, I don't even play new video games really. Everything I do is like passe or in the past. And even when I was a teenager, that was true. Because I just don't give a fuck about this culture. I think this culture is such garbage. But my God, I've never seen it this bad. Like, even if you go back to like the 2000s, there was some good stuff coming out. Like, I like My Chemical Romance. Green Day came out with American Idiot. You had even, damn. Like, you had even groups like Flyleaf. I know Flyleaf came out with I'm So Sick. Even the rap like Trillionaire. Like Lady Gaga there at the end, and she did a lot of gay rights, by the way, but her music was very interesting, artistically speaking. Like Alejandro and Bad Romance or Crazy Videos. And it's like, when you compare that to this shit now, it's like the music even back then was good. But like, when you compare this to the shit now, like in the 2000s and maybe even the early 2010s, compared to the shit they're putting out now, even that was good. So I don't listen to new music because everything just sucks. And say what you want about the 90s, and it wasn't a great decade, and we had a lot of the same shit wrong then, and maybe even on a greater degree wrong than now. But at least in the 90s, music was good. And I think the 90s had some of the best music. I know a lot of people like the 60s. I would say 90s had better music. And I like the 60s, but I would say the 90s probably had better music than the shit that they do now. So, you know. And finally, yeah, okay, finally, okay, and finally, damn. Okay, and finally, remember, you know, circumcision kills between 50, and that is a serious male issue, and there are lots of male problems. But circumcision kills between 50 and 120 children a year. Bitch. Okay, trying this again. Circumcision kills between, but there's a lot of male problems, but circumcision kills between 50 and 120 children a year. It can castrate the child. It does kill 120, or it kills 20-something thousand nerve endings in the penis. It makes masturbation less good. It makes sex less plausible. It makes having sex worse for the woman and the men in a lot of cases, actually, if you know anything about that. Including anal sex becomes much more difficult. Vaginal sex is not as good for the woman or the man, and it's not as good for the man because he's lacking nerve endings, but it's not as good for the woman because the rigid foreskin is supposed to stimulate the clitoris because it creates a ridge around the penis head. So the point is, don't do that to your kids. So, like always, just remember, and then just like they're telling you not to masturbate, they didn't want you to back then either. That's the conservatives for you. But the point is, don't circumcise your children in D666.